I was 10 years old, living in Springfield, Massachusetts. And at the time, I was a student at Freeman Elementary School. And I'll never forget the day a school social worker came to talk to us about what happens when people are mistreated. She talked about abuse, she talked about neglect, and the kind of pain that children really never find the words to explain. And I'll never forget her name. It was Mrs. Knowles. Her voice filled the gym, and it was a very heavy air that was in the room that day. And I remember the weight of her words pressing against my chest until the tears just came down. I didn't plan on crying that day, but everything I've been carrying from home just really finally spilled out. Maybe that's why the social worker was actually there in the first place, because my mother was hurting and she was also hurting me. The abuse was physical, it was mental, and I thought I couldn't name it then, but really I knew our home was very unsafe. And looking back, I realized I was probably the reason why the social worker actually came to the school that day. I know there were signs. And after the talk, she asked for a couple of us to stay behind. And there were maybe about 5 girls or so. And she led us into this small room, and it was like this very dimly lit room off on the side of the gym. And it was where the musical instruments were stored. And the air in there was, again, very heavy, and the lights were low. And it was like the world was holding its breath, as I think of it now. And that's when one of the girls, and I'll just call her Wanda, turned to me and said these words that I'll never forget. And she said to me, "I'm being abused at home." And my heart dropped. She was trembling. Her eyes were full of shame. And I remember saying the only words that rose in my heart at the time. And I just told her, "You're not alone." Maybe she came to me because she saw that I was brave first, because I had already opened up about what was happening in my home and in my life. She saw that I was able to show emotion, which was not really shown where I came from. And by speaking my truth, I really gave her permission to speak hers. And in that moment, I learned something that's really sacred in my soul, and it's always carried with me throughout my life. When you share your truth, you free someone else to be able to do the same. And that day in that dark music room became the first chapter of my true calling.